Hallelujah, all my New South Empire, wonderful and fantastic fun family of winners. This your winner, Fitzhugh, Sergio, FITZHUGHLHUFFll. That's right, this is the Winners Podcast. I don't have nothing but winners on my podcast. That's right. Tonight we got Adam C. Wilson. What's up, Adam? Throw your hand up, my winner. Straight like that. We got that Nick Driver with us. Nick, throw your hand up, my winner.
What up, my man? What up, my man?
That's right. Then we got my engineer, Mr. Sawyer Aikens. He's been joining us lately. Really appreciate you. And we got Mr. McKinley Bryson, better known as comedian Grave Digger. He's live with us all the way from Panama City, Panama.
Panama City, Panama, baby.
Right like that. He got a show down there, and he's looking to move there part time. We love that. We love that progress without we winners over here. That's right. And y'all know we got that activist, lawyer, doctor, strategist, panelist, researcher, analyst, Samuel Blue. That's right. That's my winner for life. That's right. So tonight's topics we're going to be talking about what the hatred. The hatred is so thick over there on the left. But y'all know how I feel about the left. It's impossible to be what? Right if you're on the left. Hey, am I right though? It's impossible to be right if you're on the left. Okay. But anyway, they over there bombing. They're going to bomb the real NIGGA. Ice Cube, they gonna bomb this tour bus over there. And then they're gonna wonder why my always winning ass winner, Donald J. Trump, don't want to bring the National Guard up there to help out. The police can't handle it. They gonna bomb my winners, firebomb his tour bus over some BS. We're gonna talk about that tonight. Got a little clip that we're gonna show you guys. And then we're gonna talk about why the hell do them democratic people think that these illegal immigrants who broke the law deserve all of these benefits? And is that really part of the reason of this government shutdown? Then we are going to talk about this new profile, shaving profile for the military. If I can remember correctly, that's always been in effect. You had to have some kind of documentation from your doctor that you either had to have Tina Versicola or something else, some kind of follicle or something, then you could get a restriction. But we're going to dissect that too. We got 3 veterans on here, so we can relate to that topic. But first of all, I want to send a shout out to our sponsors. That's right. Doja Moon. That's right. I have my very own brand of fruit punch flavored moonshine. It's called Fitz Paradise Juice. Doja Moon. That's right. You go get yours at www.dojavineyards.com. Then we also got, we got to keep it high. You know what I'm saying? Nobody want to be low, so we got to stay high. We got them lit sticks. That's right. THC, CBD, hemp, whatever. A, B, C, D, even Z. All right. We got it for you. That's lit sticks. Rashid Myers, Team Collective. Straight like that. All right. Now let's get down with it. Today has been really a rough day because I've been engaging with a lot of people on that Blue app. And some people just really don't know how to converse or agree to disagree. But I tell them, I always invite them to come on and talk about it. Share their point with the world, not just me. So anyway, let's get to it. Sawyer, go ahead and show that clip about the tour bus being firebombed.
So you all bombed Ice Cube's tour bus out there in Portland, Oregon? Ice Cube, NWA, Doughboy. At this point, we really just need to label the liberals as a terrorist organization, the same way that they want to label Antifa one, same way that they want to label the cartel one. Never in my life have I ever seen political parties beefing like Bloods and Crips, like GDs and Vice Lords. This is a new brand of liberals, okay? I highly doubt that my 60-plus-year-old mom beefing with Republicans because of how they voted. There was a time in this country where nobody discussed politics. We didn't talk about politics at the dinner table. We talk about politics at barbecues. Nobody really cared as long as you was solid. Nowadays, if you are conservative, it's highly unlikely that you want to befriend any liberals. Unless you're married to one and they're an old school Democrat. If you're a liberal, 9 times out of 10, you are not going to want to be friends with a conservative unless you're married to one and you're an old school Democrat. Because see, it's y'all that's the problem. It's y'all that's the problem. Then y'all get on the internet and y'all say stupid things like, oh, well, people are so comfortable with being racist because Trump is in office. If these people weren't already racist, it didn't matter whether or not Trump was going to be president or not. If they was racist then, they're going to be racist now. Y'all keep forgetting that out of the presidents that have been in office for the last couple of years, only 2 of them went to a KKK member. As a matter of fact, the head honcho of the KKK, only 2 of them went to his funeral. It wasn't Trump. The fact of the matter is that you guys are the problem. They have a whole lot to do with the hot sauce that y'all shot in y'all veins, and you literally have become like a puppet on a string, and it's being manipulated by the elites or some mad asshole who is literally sitting behind a switchboard surrounded by thousands of screens. At the end of the day, something is clearly wrong with you guys. And I really feel sorry for you if you have children. Because let me be the first to tell you, your children aren't necessarily going to follow in your political footsteps. How you may react to that is what's even more concerning. How you're reacting to people who aren't even in your household.
Great, great, great. And you know what I want to reiterate is the fact that she said, theoretically, she said, it's rooted. I remember growing up at the table, we didn't talk about no politics, barely talked about religion, okay? It's rooted. And in the Democratic Party, maybe in the Republican Party. I grew up in a family where politics didn't matter, okay? Because no mere man is going to dictate the quality of my family or friend's life, okay? But it's like they're so deeply rooted in you have to be Democrat. You have to be Democrat. The children got to be Democrat. You got to do this. You got to do that. And you got to do that. Anything else, they're racist. Okay. Like she said, what are you teaching your children? Basically, you're teaching your children to be a follower instead of a leader, you know, to make their own decision. I have so many family members who died hoping that we're Democratic, okay? Hoping. They were hope addicts being sold hope dreams by the hope dealer Democratic Party. Intelligent people are tired of hoping. Jesse Jackson been hollering, keep hope alive for years. Damn that. Martin Luther King had a damn dream. Damn that. We want action. And the man that's giving action just happened to be white. And because of Donald J. Trump, he's a racist. I like the point that she said that them people were racist anyway. They were racist anyway. They were going to do what they were going to do anyway. Now, the fact that he created the slogan, "Make America Great Again," they took this shit out of hand. I'm tired of talking. Let's start with the newbie, the rookie on the block, even though he got his own show. Mr. Nick Driver, what's your thoughts on the bombing of Ice Cube's bus and the liberals in total? And why are they called liberals? Why are they called liberals?
Yeah, I mean, these are all good questions, and I loved your intro right there. The one thing I will say is what she is actually referring to is Robert Byrd. And Robert Byrd was actually, you guys can check me on this. I think it was West Virginia, but he was a Democrat from West Virginia that Joe Biden actually, if I'm not mistaken, gave his, what was it called? Eulogy? It's a eulogy, right? now Robert Byrd was a Klansman, and he was also an organizer. And I don't have my info pulled up at the moment on what years he served, but you know, the Democrat Party to me personally has always been pretty detrimental and not a positive thing for the Black community. I look at it and I just look at the past history on stuff. You know, it's kind of like me and my mom talk about this stuff. Once you see it, you can't unsee it, you know. And when I'm looking at some of this stuff, there's also something going on in Oregon. Oregon is a Shiite show right now, first off. And you have something going on up there called the Greater Idaho Movement, where a lot of people that are on the more, I guess, Atlantic side of Oregon, they actually want to detach from that area. It's called the Greater Idaho Movement, to where they actually are like sick of how crazy things have gotten. And back to the question of why are they called liberals? They need to come up with a different name, because there is nothing liberal about the Liberal Party.
Thank you, Nick. Samuel.
You said a lot. Well, she said a lot, and Nick answered a lot. Robert Byrd was actually the Grand Cyclops of West Virginia. And basically, the Grand Cyclops is over an entire state. The Grand Wizard is over the nation.
Right.
And basically, he mentored Joe Biden, him, Strom Thurmond, and that's one of the people that Kamala Harris called Joe Biden out for working with to push the crime bills, segregation, the busing, all those things. And, you know, it's one of those things that people now will say that he denounced the Klan. Well, he denounced the Klan on his deathbed because he didn't want his name removed from all these streets and buildings in West Virginia. That's literally the only reason why he denounced it. And that was on his deathbed. But I think, you know, what's happening in Portland is one of those things. And I think part of Oregon is trying to join. I think they actually got enough signatures to put it on the ballot so they can become a part of Idaho. Alberta, Canada has also done that same thing to separate from Canada, and it's going to be on their next ballot. So you have a lot of states and cities within the states that are now coming with the power of mobilizing to leave these states that they don't want to be a part of anymore.
Wasn't if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Glenn Miller the Grand Dragon, the Wizard?
You know, I honestly don't know. I know Robert Byrd was, because I know how much Biden spoke about him.
Right.
And
no, I'm talking about the main man. The main man, his name was Glenn Miller, wasn't he? Out of Chapel Hill, North Carolina, or Alamance County.
Me personally, I don't follow him like that. Yeah. I follow the people that are more into, you know, in Congress, the Senate, the presidency. You know, they're bad with their extremist stuff.
Okay, now we all know that Adam C. Wilson is long-winded as hell. But Adam, what are your thoughts? Do you think it's time for the National Guard to infiltrate Oregon and some of these states because of incidences like this?
Well, I mean, I think if you look at cities like Michigan, who are being completely taken over by Sharia law, I mean, I think some of these individuals and ideologies aren't able to live a Western culture lifestyle. And it's full takeover almost, to the point where the people who live here and are American no longer have a say-so. And our voices are being quieter and quieter as more and more illegals come in with funding, with housing, with Medicare, with all the advantages to proceed. And all of them are directed politically to take over and control. I mean, such as you see in the UK. The UK, all the governors of the UK are all Muslim. and now they're under majority. There's more Sharia laws than there is actual courthouses. And if you look at the UK now, I mean, it's I think the Qatar owns more of the UK than actually the UK King Charles does at this moment. And the same thing is starting to slip through us. And the what seems to be pushed is a Muslim extremist ideology to try to keep the Christians versus the Muslims, so you don't look at the other hand, which is actually the poison. So, and I think a lot of it's smoke and mirrors and political funding for extremist ideology more than it is a natural reaction to something.
Okay, great points. Great points. I do see where right now I have never. I'm 60. I just turned 65. I have never seen a greater divide in my lifespan than I have right now.
It's a moral
than I have right now.
It's Christian.
McKinley.
Yeah.
What do you think can make a group of people bomb an icon, a legend who caters to all people, all white and black, every Asian, Hispanic, love Ice Cube, but this one party, political party, bomb this man's tour bus? What kind of mentality? What causes that? Where that come from? Great digger.
Probably come from that last movie that he made that sucked. That's probably why they bombed it. If you saw that last movie, it sucked.
It sucked. He didn't say War of the World, didn't he?
Man, that movie sucked. They paid people to go see it. I'm telling you, that's probably why they bombed this bus. But since Adam didn't answer the question you asked him about the National Guard moving into cities, no, actually, that's illegal. The thing that Hedgepat did the other day was illegal, how he talked to the generals and everything. The thing Trump did the other day is illegal. There is a law that says we cannot fight on American soil. Now, they're trying to get the Americans to fight the Americans on the American soil because Trump and his buddies each have a civil war in their country, and we don't have one.
But hold on, who are they fighting? There's no fighting; it's defending.
No. Defending what?
Defending the ICE agents from getting bombed. Defending the ICE agents from getting their vehicles turned over.
That's what we have police for. And being an ex-cop, I already
But
know.
the police are not doing their job, and they overmanned.
The police are not doing their job. We don't have enough police. Now,
right.
They're not able to do their job.
Yeah.
They're not able to do their job.
When the police is repeatedly defunded and told not to go into specific zones of the country, we have police-free zones. But where we have police-free zones,
I guess. A police-free zone at?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Portland?
The second week in a row you're going to do this? The second week in a row you're going to do this? Just pure ignorance.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Have you ever heard of Detroit, you son of a bitch? Are you serious?
There's no police-free zones nowhere in the country.
Have you been to Detroit?
You got to give him a pass. He did think the president had a salary of $4 million a year.
Yeah. Also, man, take that ball cap off. Take that ball cap hat off. And
hey, hold on, Sawyer. He's not moving to Panama. He is coming back, so you better watch him out. He is coming back. All right. But listen here, though. But McKinley, listen though.
For good reason.
There are some states that don't want the National Guard, right? But the cities in that state want them to come because they need help. They don't have enough officers, and they're getting their vehicles demolished. They're getting Molotov cocktails thrown at the officers. So the National Guard are coming in to suppress that. They don't want to fight because there wouldn't be no fight.
And it's not Americans versus Americans. It's Americans versus the illegals and the extremist ideology.
Extremists, yes.
That floodgate for 4 years during Biden, there has to be some recoup or some cover to fix all of that.
Okay, let's put it this way. Let's put it this way. Molotov cocktail versus the M60A1. That's no fight.
They both sound like a pretty bad thing to get hit by,
a
man.
National Guardsman is nothing but an American citizen. That's all they are. They work in drugstores. They work in grocery stores. I consider a National Guardsman a high-level Boy Scout. That's it. You put a National Guardsman, if you want to, up against me and see what happens.
Oh,
that's because you're not a regular citizen, though. You're not a regular citizen, but that National Guardsman had to go to the same basic training I had to go to.
No, he didn't.
Also,
he did.
The National Guardman probably weighs as much as you, but he's half as wide around as you. That wouldn't be a good day for you.
But he don't
have the
National Guardsman don't have the National Guardsman. The National Guardsman might not.
He might not have the ain't shit to me.
That's because you had extensive training, though. Okay, everybody else. Okay, first of all, are you gonna go out there and throw a macabre cocktails, or you gonna put a do? You gonna put that 50 on? Which one?
You know what I roll with, so.
All right then. Yeah, all right then. That's a big difference, though. If they had to defend against you, it wouldn't be the Guardsmen. Hell no, it'd be the Green Beret.
Hey, sorry, I'm not gonna say anything bad about you for dodging being in the military and not being man enough to stand up. But anyway,
you don't know my fucking reasoning, you old fat fuck. Do you want to see me in person? I'm 6'2" and 170 pounds. What's good, bro? I get paid to travel. Where you want to meet? Give me a city and a gym. City and gym.
Hold on.
Greenwood, South Carolina.
No.
Give me a city and a gym.
Hold on. Time out. That man is nowhere near fat. And first of all, calm it down. Keep that shit to keep that all that other stuff.
You gonna shoot me?
All right,
shoot me?
No, ain't nobody gonna do that. What's wrong, Sawyer? Go back to engineering.
Doing this. What do you mean? What does this mean? He's allowed to do this, but I can't talk shit.
No. Look. All right, you gonna get us flags, Sawyer. You gonna get us flags.
No, I'm not. I'm better at holding down the rules than anybody here. I have more understanding of TOS than all of you.
Sawyer, you're getting us off topic. You're getting us totally off topic. All right, for real.
He just gets a reaction.
Can I
give him what he wants?
All right, now it's another state, Tennessee. I seen it on the news the day before yesterday. The governor don't want the National Guard, the governor does want them. The governor does, but it's just a few cities that don't. Okay, right. And that's the holdup, and that's the holdup. But you know what? They're gonna get around all of that. I say, with all of this ridiculousness by the liberals of bombing and turning over vehicles and threatening the ICE agent families and them, spitting on them, throwing rocks and cinder blocks at them, the police can't handle it, then go to the next level. That's my take on it. Period. All right.
I don't see it.
You don't. So you just said just let the police.
Could I explain how the law
just let the police get abused?
Please.
Can I explain how the National Guard law works that he's saying is illegal?
Yeah, go ahead.
The National Guard is legalized to mobilize because they're there to protect federal buildings. The ICE is a federal building. When they detain people and they take them there, the protesters are starting now to damage, to throw stuff, to try to keep them from doing their job. So the National Guard, by law, because the ICE is a federal agency, the buildings that they're in are federal buildings. So those National Guardsmen are there to protect the ICE. When you look at Chicago, when you see National Guardsmen marching down Chicago, they are escorting ICE agents. That's why they're in Chicago. They're not patrolling the streets like that. They're protecting the ICE agents. Now, when we go to Tennessee, the governor has requested the National Guard. The chief of police, the black woman, first black chief of police of Memphis, she requested it because she's like, our officers are being overpowered. The people on the streets got better weapons than us. We need them. She just did an interview this morning saying how she is happy. They already have all these guns, all these things off the street, and they welcome all the federal help. So guess what Trump sent? He sent the FBI, the CIA, U.S. Marshals, the DEA, and they're basically doing what they did the last 2 weeks in D.C. So when we talk about the laws being broken, the laws not being broken, just like when the Secretary of War holds a meeting to where everybody has to come in, guess what? He's their boss. They have to come. It's not against the law. It's in his job description to be able to do that. He only answers to one person, and that's the President of the United States. All these generals, all 800 of them, those generals and those command sergeant majors, they work for him. And the reason why he had them come to the most secure military base on the planet, Quantico, that's where the FBI is, that's where the CIA is, that's the most secure base on the planet. Now, he had them come because he could have sent out a memo with all the 10 policy pillars that he wanted to introduce. But guess what? When you send out an email, guess what happens? People will say, oh, well, I didn't read it like that. Or I didn't. People start to interpret it in their own way. He had them look them dead to their eye and explain exactly what every 10 pillar meant and how it's going to be carried out. And then a lot of people don't know that they did random polygraph on all those generals, which is another reason why they wanted them there in person. So nothing, we can say something is unconstitutional or something is unethical, but I think we're using terms like against the law, racist, unconstitutional, when it may be unethical, but nothing that's being done is against the law.
Right.
Yeah, the wording, it's all about the wording. All right, let's move right along. Moving right along. Hey, Sawyer, go ahead and post what Nick posted earlier today. And hey, Nick, go ahead and read that for us, Nick.
Absolutely. Okay, so here we go. Some people have asked me, so I'll break it down real quick regarding the government shutdown. By law, illegal immigrants can't get free federal health care, not Medicaid, not Obamacare, nothing but emergencies. Democrats say they're just protecting health care for citizens, but Republicans argue it's a backdoor that lets illegals benefit off of taxpayers' dime. Neither side's backing down, and that's why the government is shut down. I thought this was a pretty down the middle, centrist way of trying to post this. I'm more of a libertarian when it comes to my thought process on things. And this is basically a big point on what's going on. Now, you could nitpick things and say, hey, well, this is going on, this is going on, this is going on. But this is what is like, on my end, and I'm sure you guys all seem like very intelligent people. I'm sure you guys have different viewpoints on this too. So, and before we go into this, I would like to say one thing, if that's okay. Is that cool?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So Sawyer was saying, and I just want to mention this because I get what he was saying. He was talking about police-free zones in America. We don't technically have police-free zones in America. However, I will say this. He is right in the aspect of we have very weak leadership in certain areas that are not pro-law enforcement. And we are seeing that with cities like Chicago, and we're seeing it with things like DC. And I just want to mention that. So, and that's really all I had to say about that.
I'd love to continue with that.
So,
I'd love to.
Yeah, me too.
Adam.
Yes, sir.
What's your view on what do you think the main reason of this government shutdown is?
Honestly, I think Blue should read first off of what he's found. But for me, just from reading just on media, it seems like they're just trying to fund illegal aliens to be able to have health care. The funding and bill, I haven't read it myself personally, so I don't know, but it seems like it's just based on funding more illegals, not so
All
much
right,
for.
what's your take on the government shutdown, McKinley?
Well, it, like I said, everything starts from the top. So it should never been one, but that we have them all the time. And it's a way to save money. And if you look at it, the way they changed our military pay from the 15th to the end of the month, that's how they did that in one day, save all that money. But the military government shutdown should never, ever happen.
Right.
Never.
Right.
Ever.
And I want to say, and then if it do happen, why is Congress still getting paid? Ain't they part of the government?
That's what I'm saying. It's a like Adam always says, it's a lot of smoke screen. How can you shut down the government when the government's the only one still getting paid?
Right.
What's your thought process, Sam? We're gonna come to you, Sam. But Sawyer, what's your thought process? What do you think the main reason for the government shutdown is?
Yo, can I mention one thing real quick, guys?
Go ahead.
This is what I pulled up real quick off what Grave just pulled up the idea of. And it says congressional salaries were written in a permanent law, U.S. Constitutional Article 1, Section 6. Their pay is mandatory spending, not part of the annual budget. So they're actually getting paid off of what is called mandatory spending. That's not part of the annual budget, which when the government gets shut down, it's the annual budget that they're actually arguing on.
That's
okay.
Stupid.
Okay. Did I lose you, Nick? Can you hear me, Nick?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think you had muted yourself. All right. Sawyer, what do you think the main reason for this government shutdown is?
Well, I don't really know for sure. I don't stay informed on the shutdowns because, kind of like Gravedigger said, he's right about one thing. These things happen so often, and this one's only different for very minor reasons, as far as I can understand. And this is just from what I looked up from, and this is a report on the BBC because it was the first thing that I could find before you actually got me to speak. But it says the U.S. federal government was shut down after Republican and Democrats failed to resolve a budget dispute. Now, as far as I know, that it says that U.S. government services are suspended. I'm not too sure that I've ever actually witnessed a shutdown. I don't even know what it entails. So I'm actually more than happy to be learning about it today.
But is it true or is this a rumor that the right side was negotiating some form of aid to the illegal immigrants? Sam,
I know that it was a talk. Oh,
go ahead, Sawyer. Go ahead, Sawyer.
Sam was probably going to say it. In fact, I know that Trump. It was something that Trump actually initiated. It was a talking point on his behalf, and then it got intercepted, and just a group of people. I know that we need 7 Republicans for a vote, and with Ron Paul consecutively voting against, fundings of many things that the right advocate for, we're more than likely going to need an extra 8th Republican vote in order to get whatever Trump is trying to get passed.
Okay. Sam, we know you know.
Yeah. So I read through the entire bill. It's like 23, 24 pages. And basically what happened is the Republicans were trying to negotiate or speak to the Democrats for the past few months, but the Democrats never met because they was too busy trying to free Albrega from being deported. They was doing podcasts. They're like rallying, trying to see who's going to do, like LC and Bernie Sanders doing their world tour of the oligarch. So the Republicans said, okay, well, we're just going to do exactly what was signed back in March because we just passed the big, beautiful bill, as they're saying. And so basically if you can post the first picture where it looks like 2 pages, if you can show that, and I can basically explain what that is. And the 3 reasons why the Democrats only 4 Democrats have come across to vote for it. Every Republican has voted for the CR, especially like Ron Paul, like in Massey, that is unheard of. So this is the actual text. So basically, subtitle E, the Democrats, this is the Democrats, what they're requesting. They want to repeal the health subtitle change of Article B. Now, if you look at the actual text, I posted it in the comments on YouTube. So it basically states they want to repeal the health subtitle change, subtitle B of Title 7 of the act titled Alien for Reconciliation pursuant to Title 2, Public Law 119-21, and repeal it and be applied such as subtitle and amendments made to it had not been enacted. So basically, not being enacted, they want to just completely change it. So if you can go to the next picture.
I know one thing, they do all that subtitle, this article, that, just so your damn ass get tired, don't want to understand it at all anyway.
So this is the text. I'm not sure if you're able to zoom in, but this is the actual
this is
text.
as close as I can get. Let me see. This is not as good as it gets.
Well, what's highlighted, if you can, I just sent you another picture of this actually typed out. I just wanted the people to see the actual bill so that they know that real due diligence has been done with research. So basically, if you go down, you'll see where it says what this is what's trying to be repealed. Section 71109, the alien Medicaid eligibility.
711, they trying to keep shit open.
The Democrats want all of this taken out of the big, beautiful bill. Literally, they want this just written out. And if you look at one, is basically this comes into effect October 1st, which was yesterday. So basically it's saying that who cannot get it. It said the restriction does, it says the United States citizens and nationals get it. A permanent, lawful permanent residents, green card holders get it. Cuban or Haitian entrants or individuals lawfully residing in the U.S. under Compact of Free Association, COFA, from the Marshall Islands, Micronesia, Palau. The restriction does not apply for mandatory emergency services furnished individuals, so they can get certain emergency services. But what the actual bill says is no illegal, nobody undocumented can get any type of Social Security or any type of Medicare because they don't pay into the system. So basically what's happening, the system is being drained faster than normal, especially from the last 4 years. All they want to do is just move forward so they can do their appropriation bills. But the Democrats want is, I think is 1.4 billion. I mean, hold on, 100 and it's almost 200 billion that's going to go towards paying for illegal immigrants to be able to use Medicaid. And because of Biden's policy, he changed it to where everybody that came across the border was the last 4 years. He changed it in the law by executive order that they're going to give them emergency asylee status. So if you type, can a legal immigrant get Social Security, and you Google it, the first link that comes up is the page on the Social Security website, and it shows you the 7 things that Biden put in place for illegals to be able to get Social Security, SSDI. They get things that they didn't even pay into. So that's basically, outside of them wanting $500 million for NPR, which isn't going to happen either. So basically, the Democrats are wanting to add 1.9, 1.8, 1.9 trillion dollars to the CR, and the Republicans aren't budging on that because they're like, you had all this time to come meet with us, and you refused to up until the last minute. Right. So that's basically why we're in a shutdown. Now, 4 Democrats has joined all the Republicans. They got 55
right. I seen
votes.
That yesterday. Yeah,
they got 55 votes. So that means that some Democrats have come over. So all they need is 5 more. So when we talk about whose fault it is for the shutdown, like, I'm an advocate we need to take care of the people who pays into the system first.
Right.
I'm all about humanitarian stuff, but
Facts,
you need to
man.
take care of
Facts,
your house
man.
first.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay.
Sam, great breakdown.
Great digger. I see you. I see you got a burning desire. I know you over there in hot ass Panama and your ass on fire. But I see you. I see you boiling. I see you boiling.
First off, so we all right, okay?
Look, I like it. I like it too, man.
All right. Okay.
Hold on. I listen to Sam, and I'm all for it. You take care of your own house first. I'm gonna cut my grass before I cut yours. I am totally against. See, what it burns, like you said, burns my ass is what really burns my ass is that everybody on this panel, damn near, when you was born in the United States, you had to be 16 years old before you got a Social Security number.
Yep.
Now all illegals come over here and have all these babies. As soon as the babies are born, they get a Social Security number. Then their parents who are illegal uses that Social Security number.
Right.
That's what burns my ass right now. And Sam, that was a good analyst what you just did. I don't like that.
Okay, but the party, you say you are not Democratic. You're unaffiliated, right? Right, Greg Digger?
Yeah,
right.
I am.
Okay. Yeah.
You're making progress, man.
But like you said, the people that you defend, okay, such as not. Don't you see the need? Don't you see the need for defending the country? If nobody on this panel see it better than anybody else, I think you should, Greg Digger. And the only one that has been taking action in the past 96 years is Trump in defending this country against other entities, aliens, and stuff like that. He started it in his first. Of course, when Biden came in it, he repealed everything and took it all back and did them other stupid ass executive orders. My daughter is going to have a hard time getting any kind of assistance, God forbid she needs it, because it's going to be drained if we don't nip it in the bud now. We need to nip it in the bud. We need to nip that shit in the bud now. And because the Republican Party or whatever don't agree with you, you quit. You don't go to work. If you don't go to work, your ass should be fired.
Right.
If me and you don't go to work, we gonna get fired. Everybody that didn't go to work, talking about the government shutdown, all these government officials need to be fired. You know what I'm saying? Some illegal aliens, the illegal aliens don't care about you. The only thing they care about is getting over here and getting minimum wage and getting all this free shit that you're trying to give away.
Well, Fitz,
that some of us can't get. That some of us can't get.
You know, I'm all for getting rid of the illegal aliens. I've been for that.
Yo,
I don't have to be a Democrat or a Republican to see that. I'm the one that pay the taxes, you know, and if you don't pay the taxes, and that's why I go right back to that Social Security number stuff. They come over and have one kid and they can get a whole household off of one Social Security number.
Yeah. All right, so is the government shutdown the only reason for the government shutdown is this illegal immigrant stuff? So
that's what it looks like to me.
Yes.
Well, I don't. Once again, I can't be so sure. And
all right, the great digger, you said that's what it looks like to you.
That's what it looked like. I mean, I go along with Sam. You read it, and I saw it, and I read it. The only reason they shut down because the Democrats wanted to have all this extra money for illegal aliens, which is wrong.
Well, I think the most of it is just a way for them to funnel money like they did with Social Security, and they found all the people who are dead, been deceased, 200 years old, and they're getting checks. Well, those checks are still accounts that are still funneling money illegally out of the U.S. government into personal interest. And when you're doing that with illegals, what is it? Anything for them just to create a Social Security number, add a bank account to it, and dump money into it and say it's legal. There's nothing stopping it. So it's really like a loss of control of funding to even allow it.
Nick. Is there anything else that caused this government shutdown other than this?
It's always it's always something with the government. But the thing I would mention is I do want to touch on a quick topic that Mr. Gravedigger said here about being 16 years old and having a social security number. I have never heard that.
Yeah,
and I will tell you this, man. Social security number is basically the main purpose of it is to track your work history so the freaking government can tax us. So even if they,
Nick,
you mind if I finish my thought? You mind if I finish my thought?
You had to be 16 to get a social security number.
Yeah, that's back in our day, though. That's back in our day, though.
If you finish your thought, Nick, he definitely minds.
Yeah, that's back in our day, McKinley. Go ahead, Nick.
Okay, yeah, and you know what? You could be absolutely correct on that. And but the thing is a social security number is tied to your work history. It's tied to your taxes. It's tied to make sure you might get right benefits on certain things. So it's not like when they're pulling people in here, I just never have heard that you don't have to be. I mean, I've heard that you can get a driver's license at 16. But I've never heard you're going to go through like because they're assigned to you at birth or either when you come over here to actually try to make money. Now, I just want to give you a heads up on that. And I don't know. I could be wrong, but I just wanted to, that's all I got to say about that.
I know that when I was growing up, we couldn't get our Social Security until later on. When my daughter was born 3 years ago, she got it at birth. So times changes. Mr. Blue, is there any other reason for this government shutdown other than this illegal immigrant shit?
And now, that one thing, Mr. Gravedigger, one thing I will say is two things can be accurate. So there you
go. Right. Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, I think it's basically. I think what the Democrats have been fighting for the last 4 years, because they saw what was coming down the pipeline with more people going over to the, not necessarily the conservative side as a registered voter, but as far as principle. Conservatives are, quote unquote, supposed to have more principles, and when you hear a conservative speak, you'll hear them say something, but if you ask them how to fix it, they should be able to give you they normally give you a reason. Well, we can fix it this way. Like student, they ask me, well, how do we face student loans? Forgiveness, because I'm against that. I'll say, well, we reform it. We remove it from being federalized and back to private so that when someone files for bankruptcy, now they can add that student loan because it's private to their bankruptcy and get it resolved. And that way you ensure the people who really need it. They need to reduce the cost of books. They need to reduce the amount of professors that they give tenure. When I ask a liberal a question, okay, how would you fix it? I don't know. I'm not the one who voted. They just need to make sure they come in. It's their job to figure it out, not mine. So I think that's the difference where you just have to have more. I think it's about the Democrats hoping to get all these people in the U.S. to become eligible voters. New York City tried to make 800,000 registered voters.
Right.
California's trying to do it.
Right.
You have them voting. You look at the takeover in Minneapolis now, when they allowed 100,000 Somalis to come into Minneapolis, now they're trying to buy Prince's estate and make it into a mosque. Look what they're doing in Dearborn, Michigan, where they just started last week. They renamed the first street over to an Islamic extremist. They named it in his name. So they're taking over. And that's the thing. So I just think this is about it's about being against Trump. That's what I honestly believe, because I don't think nobody should shut down the government. I think if they do shut down the government, everybody should turn down their pay. I think there's 21 GOP Congress people that have turned down their pay, and you have like 3 senators. But to me, everybody shouldn't get paid. If the military don't get paid, these government employees don't get paid, they can change that. You know, so we need to hold them accountable to change that in law.
Correct. Okay. Now, this is another. This is
because I gotta go to a meeting. I got
okay. All right. Well, we enjoy you. We enjoy you all the way from Panama, Great Digger. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Now this is my take on. This is also my take on why the liberals are defending these illegal immigrants so vigorously. Is because they look at them as potential voters for them. I'm feeling like they think that because they taken up for them so much that possibly they're going to vote for them when they become eligible to vote. But anyway, it's just all crazy. Our next topic is we was going to talk about why is everything racist? They just reinstated the rule about the soldiers. So you go ahead and play the video clip about the new law in the military, the reinstated law in the military about military personnel having to be shaved.
Let's say, did you?
Yes.
I have a picture from you.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah, show that picture. Yeah, it was just a picture, correct.
It's just
okay. Can you read that, Sam, please?
The new Army shaving policy will allow soldiers with skin conditions that affect mostly black men to be kicked out.
Okay, so they're saying that shaving profile will no longer be in existence.
A permanent shaving profile.
Right.
People can still get temporaries, you know, but when it's a permanent, that means you're not mission ready. Anytime you have any type of permanent physical profile.
Which makes sense to a degree, but why is there such an uproar about it? And everybody's saying that is racist because the majority of the people that's going to be affected by that is African American men because of their skin and shaving skin. But if I can recollect correctly, when I was in the military, it was only like 1 or 2 of us that needed a shaving profile in the first place. But now they came up with this statistic that last year it was 40,000 soldiers who needed a shaving profile. But hell, it's 1.3 million soldiers?
Well, that statistic that they gave were the amount of profiles for shaving that was given out during the last 4 years. Because prior to that, it was roughly 10,000 soldiers. So what happened when they started laxing the standards? Like I was down in Nightdale at Cordoba, and there was a sergeant first class female had a ponytail all the way down to the small of her back. Like people started to just abuse it. Now you have young soldiers that go and they're spitting game to the other soldier. Hey, if you don't want to shave, all you got to do is say your skin irritated and they'll give you a profile. Right. And that's all they're doing. So basically, because a few people took advantage of it and pushed the norm, pushed the limits. You heard that thing, you give somebody an inch, they take a foot. They was doing that. Females wearing lashes 2 inches long. They wearing they're not even doing baby hairs no more. They're doing whole parts, you know, and that's not military. Military is not about being inclusive. Everybody is dressed right dress. You're prepared for battle. You're not prepared to go out to the club.
Right. Or a fashion show.
So I think that's the main thing. So all that the Secretary of War did was say, okay, in front of all those generals, and he just didn't do the soldiers. He called the generals out for being overweight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is
I
that?
can respect that.
And
I can respect that, because when I was a young soldier, if there was a sergeant first class or platoon sergeant or even first sergeant of the whole company, and they had a profile where they couldn't run with us on Fridays or they couldn't do something, guess what? All the lower enlisted talked about him. Man, how he gonna make us run and he can't even run? So it's not just a fact of increasing the standard. It's about building cohesion and morale.
And lead by example.
And all the people that's talking junk about those standards now, they either was never in the military, they was either one of them soldiers that got put out for not being able to follow the standards, or they're just somebody, one of those keyboard warriors that they just, they may have gone in, did a term, but it wasn't for them. So when he stated, we will do PT tests twice a year minimum, we will do a height and weight tape. If you weigh a certain amount, you got to do a tape test where they measure your waist, they measure your neck, and see what your BMI is. And if you fail that, you got 90 days to lose so much weight. Now, when it comes to the shaving profile, the things that they have now that they didn't have then is they're providing free out, like you can go to your own person, a dermatologist, to treat your condition.
A specialist at that.
And they're even paying for laser hair removal. Like they didn't just say you got to shave, you have to shave now. They at least put in resources for soldiers to be able to do that. And there was 2 years where I had to get a profile. I got it for like 90 days. I healed up a little bit. And guess what? I went back to shaving, learning how to shave. Black folks, we're not supposed to shave against the grain. We're supposed to shave with the grain. And a lot of these young soldiers, they get the basic and they start shaving. Guess what? They never shaved in their life. So now in basic, starting yesterday, they're incorporating lessons to teach soldiers how to shave correctly. Not just give them the shave cream, but now they're giving classes on it. So they're putting in things to help. But I don't see it racist, because we've been doing it all in the military. And like the Secretary of War said, if you want to grow a beard, go through selections and become an operator.
Everything. The bottom line is that I am so tired of the left making everything freaking racist. Every time they say support black business only, that's fucking racist. Well, I want to say thanks everybody for being on. We have run out of time, and we really appreciate your participation. Look forward to seeing you guys next week. We got some other hot topics coming up, and of course there's going to be more current events we can talk about then. Nick, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.
You guys have a blessed night. All right.
All right. Peace out, y'all.